teach CBSE 10th Maths. Hey guys, this is Tina. I teach CBSE 8 Maths. Check out our videos on the playlist. Alright, now let's get into the video.
Today we are going to be learning Chapter 13, Surface Areas and Volumes, Exercise 13.1, 8th question. Alright, now let's read the question. From a solid cylinder whose height is 2.4 cm and diameter is 1.4 cm, a conical cavity of the same height and same diameter is hollowed out. Find the total surface area of the remaining solid to the nearest centimeter square. Okay guys, so now let us understand the figures, shapes. Okay, so here from a solid cylinder, so we have a cylinder which is so the cylinder's height is 2.4 centimeter and the diameter is 1.4 centimeter. Okay, and a conical cavity. So there is a conical cavity, so which is having the same height of the cylinder and same diameter, that is 1.4 centimeter, which is hollowed out. So hollowed out means, for example, we will have space. Am I right? So we used to say we have space. So that is the meaning of hollowed. Okay. So for example, so the correct meaning of hollowed means taken. Okay. So you can just say taken out. So what is the meaning of this taken out? You will understand this when we will just focus on these figures. Okay. So since you guys know there is a cylinder, so now let us take a cylinder. Okay. So here I have a cylinder. Okay. So do you guys think this is a cylinder? Of course this is a cylinder. Am I right? So now I am just keeping the cylinder like this. Okay. So now in this solid cylinder, so we know the height and diameter. So there is a conical cavity. So conical cavity means, you know, cone, right? Conical means cone. So let us take a cone. So here I have a cone. Okay. So conical cavity. What is the meaning of cavity? So you can just think that in our mouth also we used to get cavities, right? Cavity means there will be a space. There will be a pit on it. Am I right? So likewise we are supposed to make a pit on this cylinder. Okay. So when we just make cylinder, we are supposed to make the pit in a conical shape. So to make it, we are supposed to place the cone like this. Am I right? So they are just saying that we are supposed to make a pit on this cylinder. So when we just make it, it looks something like this. Am I right? It looks something like this. Okay. So now we made a conical pit. Am I right? So after making the conical pit, so cavity means making a pit. Okay. So now we made a conical pit. It looks something like this. Okay. Alright. So now after making it, which is having the same height and same diameter, is hollowed out. Hollowed out means taken out. Okay. Alright. So here while reading this, there is conical cavity. So since you guys know cavity means pit, so we are supposed to make a pit in this cylinder. So it should be in conical shape. So that means we are supposed to make a conical pit. So I made a conical pit right now. Am I right? So now we can see I made a conical pit. So here also you can see. Am I right? So you can see properly right now. Am I right? So I made a conical pit. Okay. So now we are supposed to find the total surface area of the remaining solid. Okay. So we are supposed to find the total surface area of this particular figure. Okay. So since you guys know the solid, we know the shapes now, right? Am I right? So since we know the shapes, now we are supposed to find whether we are supposed to use total surface area or curved surface area. Okay, what do you guys think? So now we are supposed to paint this figure. So how will you paint it? You will paint here. So you will paint here and you will paint the base of the cylinder and you will paint inside also. Am I right? So you will be able to paint inside and the side and the down, the base. Am I right? So so I will be able to paint the curved portion of the cone and the curved portion of the cylinder, and I will be able to paint the base as well. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using curved surface area of cylinder, so that is the curved portion, and curved surface area of cone. So here the cone is placed like this, am I right? That is a conical cavity. So since the cone is placed like this, so if you want to view the total figure, you can just see it. Yeah, it looks something like this, am I right? So if you want to paint it, what will you do? You'll just paint here inside, am I right? Inside you will be able to paint it. So I'm going to be using curved surface area of cone. Why? Because I'm able to paint the curved portion of the cone inside. So and I will be able to paint the base as well, base of the cylinder, am I right? So I'm going to be writing plus base of a cylinder. Okay, okay, alright. So when we'll just write it, no, that time you will understand. Okay, so now since you guys know the height is 2.4 and the diameter is 1.4. So if you know the diameter, then we can easily find the radius. So since you guys know radius, how to find it? So that if the diameter is 1.4, how to find radius means here we shall write the 1.4 as it is, and we are supposed to write divided by 2. Okay, so this is how we find the radius. So now we can actually cancel it, am I right? So I can just cancel it in second table. Okay, so when I just cancel it, I get 1, and here, so 7 2s are, it is 14, am I right? So if I write 7 2s are 14, now here we have a point, so I'm just supposed to put a point, that is it. So now I got 0.7. So what is the radius? So the radius is 0.7. Okay, alright, so this is 7. Okay, okay, so now we know the radius and the height. Okay, so everything is in centimeter. Okay, so the dimension is centimeter, so we can actually write 2.4 centimeter and 0.7 centimeter. Okay, alright, so now let us solve it. Okay guys, so since you guys know I'm going to be solving it, first of all now let us do a rough figure. Okay, so whenever you solve a question from surface areas and volumes, so please make sure that you guys draw a rough figure. Okay, alright, so now let us draw a rough figure. So according to the question, they just told that we are supposed to make a cylinder at first. Okay, okay, so this is a cylinder. Okay, so in this cylinder, no, there is a conical cavity. Cavity means a pit, am I right? So here you can see we are supposed to make a conical cavity, so we can actually make a conical cavity right over here. Okay, so the cone is inside, am I right? So there is a pit right over here, so they are just mentioning that. Okay, okay guys, so now let us make a conical cavity. Okay, so now you can actually see I can put my finger inside this cone, am I right? So like how you can see here, so here I can actually you can see, right? Wait one second. So this is the exact figure, am I right? We were talking about. So you can see I can just put the finger like this till here, till the edge. So they are just mentioning that. Okay, all right. So now what is the height? So the height of the cylinder is 2.4 centimeter, am I right? So let us do it. All right, so I'll just do it somewhat for. Okay, so the height is 2.4 centimeter. Okay, and the diameter, so we know the diameter and we also found the radius, that is 0.4, am I right? So since you guys know, I'm not going to be showing that. Okay, so since you guys know the radius is 0.7 centimeter. Okay, so now we know the radius, we know the height, so we can actually solve it. Alright guys, so we are supposed to find the, so one second I'll show that. So according to the question, one second. So according to the question, we are supposed to find the total surface area of the remaining solid. Okay, so to the nearest centimeter square. So this one we can actually focus it afterwards. So now we are supposed to find the total surface area of the remaining solid. So to find the total surface area of the remaining solid means this complete figure. Okay, so how to find it? So since you guys know how to find it, whether we are supposed to use total surface area or curved surface area. How to find that, whether we are supposed to use total surface area, curved surface area. So we are going to be checking whether we can paint this figure or not. Okay, so how will you paint it? So if I just tell you guys to paint it, then you will paint the outer portion. So I am able to paint the outer portion, right? So like this, I am able to paint the outer portion. Okay, and then so what about cone? Okay, cone, will I be able to paint inside? Yeah, of course I am able to paint the inside. Okay, so I am able to paint inside like this. One second. Okay, so inside I am able to paint it. Am I right? So inside, okay, inside. And then will I be able to paint the base? Of course I will be able to paint the base as well. Okay, so these are the parts I am able to paint it. Am I right? So since you guys know, I am able to paint the curved portion of the cylinder. So for example, so I am gonna show only the cylinder now. Okay, so now this is a cylinder. So here I am able to paint the curved portion. So okay, this is I painted the outward, right? So outward means this curved portion. So I am able to paint the curved portion, and here if I just place it like this, okay, so you can just think I am just holding the cylinder. I am holding the cylinder like this. Am I right? So here I am able to paint the curved portion, and I am able to paint the down portion as well. Okay, and then since the cone is placed like this, so one second. Okay, so since the cone, there is a conical cavity. Am I right? So here you can see there is a conical cavity. Am I right? So here you can see a closer look. So there is a conical cavity like this. Am I right? So the figure looks something like this. Am I right? Both are same. So I will be able to paint the curved portion of the cylinder, and I will be able to paint the down part. So here the base, no, it will be closed. Okay, so in my shape, no, I mean in this you can see in this cylinder I didn't just place the base, so actually it has a base. Okay, alright, so I am able to paint the base as well. Am I right? Okay, and I am able to paint the inner portion of the cone. So cone is something, looks something like this. So I am able to paint the inner portion. Inner portion means this portion. Okay, so you can see this portion. Okay, so here the cone is placed something like this. Am I right? So here I here there is a hollow. Am I right? So since just because we have a hollow right away, I am able to paint this hollow portion as well. Am I right? So you can just view it. So my pen, no, it's going inside to paint it. So just because it is going inside to paint it, I am able to paint the inner portion also. Okay, alright. So I am able to paint the curved portion of the cylinder and the base of the cylinder. Why? Because the base of the cylinder, no, it will be placed, it will be like this. Am I right? So it will be like this. So I will be able to paint the base of the cylinder, and since the cone is placed like this, now I am able to paint the cone as well. Okay, so here we have a space, so we can actually paint it. Okay guys, so now when we just understand it by real experience, no, so here I have a cylinder, so where the cone is placed, so there is a conical cavity, and here I have a cylinder. So if I tell you guys to paint it, you will paint here. Am I right? So you will be able to paint this part. One second. Okay, so you will be able to paint this part. Yeah, since I told you guys, you will be able to paint this part, this complete curved portion, and you will be able to paint the base as well. So this is the base. Okay, so you'll be so it will be closed. Okay, so the base, you'll be able to paint the base as well. What about cone? So cone is something like this. Am I right? So will you be able to paint the inner part? Of course, I have a space to paint it. So with the paint, this is the paint brush, so I will be able to paint the inner part as well. Okay, so inner part, so I am able to paint the curved portion of this cone, am I right? So since you guys know here in this cone I am able to paint the curved portion, so I am going to be using curved surface area of cone. Okay, what about cylinder? So in cylinder now I am able to paint the curved part here as well, so I am going to be using curved surface area of cylinder. Okay, alright. So what about the base of the cylinder? I am able to paint the base of the cylinder as well. Just because I am using curved surface area of cylinder, what about the base of the cylinder? So just because I am able to paint the base of the cylinder now, I am going to be writing plus base of cylinder, which is in the shape of circle, am I right? So the base of cylinder is in the shape of circle, so I am going to be writing base of the cylinder. Okay, so and we will just write it now, that time you will understand. Okay, so we are supposed to find the remaining solid, am I right? So total surface area of the remaining solid. So let us write that. So total surface area of remaining solid. So we are supposed to find the total surface area of this solid. Okay, so for finding that, I told you guys I am going to be using curved surface area. So curved surface area of cylinder, and then plus curved surface area of cone. Why? Because I am able to paint the inner part. Okay, cone. Okay, and then since I was able to paint the base as well, I can write plus base of cylinder. So you guys might be wondering, in the previous question, no, we didn't mention the base. Am I right? Why? Because in the question they had already mentioned that do not include the base. Am I right? So here they didn't mention that we are not supposed to include the base. So just because of that only we are including the base in this question. Okay, if they had mentioned that don't include the base, no, then you can just ignore it. Okay. Okay guys, so now we are supposed to apply the formula. Okay guys, so what is the curved surface area of cylinder? So curved surface area of cylinder is 2 pi RH, and then plus curved surface area of cone is pi RL. Okay guys, and then plus base of cylinder. So this is the base of cylinder, am I right? So let me just show that. So this is the base of cylinder, so which is in the shape of circle. So you are supposed to mention this shape as well, that is circle. So we are supposed to apply the circle's formula. So what is the circle formula? Pi r square. Okay, so now we can actually take it as common. Why? Because the height of the cone and cylinder both are same, and the radius also we are going to be using same. So I am going to be taking it as common. Okay, so now here if you just compare it, we can just take pi as common. Okay, so I can take pi as common, and here I have r, here also I have r, and here I have r square. So in this r square now I am going to be taking 1 r as common. So in everything let us take the r, 1 r as common. Okay, and then now let us put bracket. So now let us write the rest of the things. So here we didn't just take 2 as common, h as common. Why? Because we didn't have anything as common, am I right? So let us write 2h as it is, and then here we have plus. So let us write the plus, and then here we took these both as common. So let us take L, and then plus, and here we took 1 r as common. So let us write the another 1 r. Okay, so now let us close the bracket. Okay, so now since you guys know we have the pi value, r value, and 2 we know 2 we can write as it is, and the h value, that is 2.4, and here we have L and we have r. So we don't have L, am I right? So what is L? L is the slant height of the cone. Okay, so according to the formula, this pi r L is the formula for cone, am I right? Curved surface area of cone. So when it comes to cone, no, whenever you have L, no, that is not length, that is slant height. So what is slant height? So for example, the cone here, it is in the ulta wise, am I right? So if you just draw cone properly, okay, so in this cone, no, this is the slant height. Okay, alright. So now how to find the L? So to find the L, no, I told you guys there is a formula, am I right? So let us apply the formula. One second. Okay, so now let us apply the formula. What is the formula? So the formula is, one second, yeah. So the formula is L square is equal to R square plus H square. So this is the formula. We know the radius, we know the H as well. So we can actually find the L. Okay, so now let us write L square as it is, because we don't know the slant height of the cone. They didn't mention in the question. So what is the radius? So radius is 0.7. So let us write 0.7, 0.7, and here we have square. So the whole square, and then plus H square. So H is 2.4. So let us write 2.4, and then square. Okay, so let us write the whole square. Okay, so we can actually solve it, am I right? Okay guys, so 0.7 into 0.7 is 0.49. So we are supposed to multiply 0.7 into 0.7 and then write the plus as it is. So 2.4 into 2.4 is 5.76. Okay, alright. So now L square is equal to, so when we just add them, we get 6.25. Okay, so now here we have square, so we don't want L square's value, right? So we need only L's value. So to find that, we are supposed to cancel the square. How much? We are supposed to put root. Okay, so if we put root here, then we are supposed to put the root here as well. So we can actually cancel it, am I right? So you guys know that. So now we have L is equal to, so what is the root of 6.25? Of course you guys know, so 25 into 25 is 625, am I right? So if you write 2.5, that will be much more better. Okay, so I just told you guys, so 25 into 25 we get 625. Okay, since no, we need 6.25. So if you just put point here, that is 2.5 into 2.5, we get 6.25. Okay, so of course you guys know how to take the square root. Okay, so now we got 2.5 centimeter. Okay, alright guys, so now this is the answer for L, that is the slant height. So since we got all the values now, we can actually substitute them. Okay, so one second. So now we have the radius and the height, so we can actually substitute all those values, then we'll get the answer. Okay, okay guys, so now let me just write these things as it is. So now I just wrote those things as it is. So here what is the pi value? So we can actually substitute them. Okay, so pi value is 22/7, and then here pi into r, right? So 22/7 into r. So what is radius? 0.7. So 0.7 and bracket. So you can write 2 as it is into h. What is h? 2.4. Okay, and then plus what is L? So we got L as 2.5, and then plus R is radius, that is 0.7. Okay, okay, you can actually see it, right? Yeah, so now we can actually solve them. Okay, so how to solve them? So here I have 7, and here also I have 7. We can actually cancel them. So let us cancel. Okay, so when we cancel, we get 1, here also we get 1. So since here it is 0.1, no? So if I just take off the point, then it becomes 10. Am I right? So, okay, so now when I just multiply these values and then add them. So first of all, what is 2.4 into 2? So 2.4 into 2 is 4.8. Okay, so now let us write 22/10 as it is, and then here 2 into 2.4 is 4.8 plus 2.5 plus 0.7. Am I right? So now let us write 22/10 as it is. You can see it, right? Yeah, and then when I just add them, I get 8. Okay, actually I get 8.0, so I can actually ignore that 0. Okay, So now let us write in bracket 8. So when I just add them, I get 8. Okay. So now I have 22 by 10 into 8. So when I just multiply 22 into 8, I get 176. And then 10 down, I have 10. So I can actually write the 10 as it is. Am I right? So now instead of writing 176 by 10, no, I can actually write. So I'll write it here. Okay. So I can actually write 17.6 centimeters square. Okay. So now why did I write it? You are supposed to put the decimal point like that. Am I right? So likewise I got 17.6 centimeters square. So now finally I got a value, then this is going to be my answer. Okay. Alright, so why did I write centimeter square? Why? Because all the dimensions are in centimeter. So that's why I just wrote centimeter square. Okay. So finally I solved 8th question. In the next question I am going to be solving the 9th question. So that is also easy. Okay. If you just understand the figure, it's going to be literally easy for you guys to solve it. Okay. So now let us so finally we got 17.6. So why did I write centimeter square? Why? Because all the dimensions are centimeters. So that's why I just wrote centimeter square. Okay.
Thank you guys for watching this video. Please like this video, share it to your friends and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have any doubt, comment me in the comment section. Catch you in the next video. Bye.